tubes. It's been a long time since I made a video, and I thought it was a good time now to do one because three reasons. One, autumn is finally beginning to really show some signs. The leaves and the cool nights and mornings. Still kind of hot here during the day, but that's okay. Two, I've got this freshly cut hickory wood, and I believe this is a mocker nut. Nope, I believe this is a bitter nut. Not mocker nut, bitter nut. Which, from a BTU point of view, just like all the other hickories. From a season point of view, just like all the other hickories. From a splitting point of view, this is why I think it's mocker nut. I didn't pay that much attention when I was cutting it. It had fallen down out of a neighbor's tree line over his farm road, and I obliged him by cutting it up for him. But of all the hickories that I've split, bitternut splits the best. And even these, these are some limb pieces, which for hickory wood can be kind of a booger. This one's got 3 knots. I'm gonna use this. But this is really good and green, and it just splits easy. I split some red hickory that I poached off the side of the highway, or maybe it was pig nut. It's in that other video. And there were some hairy pieces in that lot. Now I'm into some big wood here, which obviously is going to split a little easier. This kind of hickory splits pretty good. Now I am using the third reason I want to make this video. Really the main reason is I've got the Gransfors Bruk American felling axe. This is the classic American felling axe pattern that they do. This was my first non-big box department store nice axe. And when people tell me, hey, what axe should I get? Typically, I'll ask what they want it for, but this is if you're gonna have only one, this one's pretty good. Now, this is a chopping axe, a felling axe, so it's not meant to be your main splitting axe. I'm even gonna go over here to this one for a minute. And I don't use it for splitting often, and it's not because it doesn't function. I'm not really even swinging all that hard with this thing this morning. It's a real gentle morning, so I'm trying to kind of respect the morning here. But it could do it if I really powered through. That being said, it is an excellent all-around axe, and what I like to do with mine, since I got all these other ones that are really dedicated splitting axes, I typically keep mine, I guess I'll just keep missing that one. I typically keep mine in sharp as the devil himself condition. God, I missed again. For chopping. I got a couple axes that I just don't split with, And the reason why is not only can you kind of ding up the handle on some splitting, but because you know, when you're cutting wood, cutting firewood, especially like this was down by the creek, you know, sometimes it's been on the ground a little bit. I know I saw it at least 2 chains worth of rocks yesterday because I saw sparks in the sunshine. Not paying attention, being a dum-dum. But sharpening a chainsaw chain or getting a new one, it's not that big of a deal. It was at the end of my cut, so it wasn't the end of the world. But with the axe, you know, with the nice axe like this that has a nice crisp blade, I typically don't split with it. And I'm not going to sit here and split all this stuff up with it or continue about how I don't use it to split and split with it. But I like to keep this one pretty much in, you know, chopping condition at all times because it is just a pleasurable chopper. I think it's a 31-inch. They call this the curved handle, but there's barely any curve to it. I mean, there is a little bit of a fawn's foot down there, but it ain't much. It's not exaggerated. Now, I don't like the big exaggerated ones that much myself. Some guys do. That's okay. I like them to be pretty straight. But in this case, I think it fits really well with the axe's purpose. It gives you a good whip on the end. Let's split this naughty little rascal, and then I'll show you chopping some limbs up. I took some of the brush home. I typically do with hickory and beech. We'll get a piece of that. And I do that because hickory, I don't really care about the twigs that much, although they'll be good kindling, whatever. But roundwood and hickory, like limbwood, there's no drop off between that and splits in fire. And I actually cook with wood a lot, and as some of you may know, hickory wood is one of the culinary woods around here. People barbecue with it. It also makes great just open fire cooking wood. So what I want to show you though is, you know, I'm just kind of leisurely living this up, excelling at that because it's so sharp. You know, and if I was going to take this one down into firewood, it would be pretty easy to do. I might save that and make a walking stick out of it. Oh, here's a good one. Saw guy messed this up. This was after they realized that their chains were dull. That's me, I'm talking about myself here. Alright. And that's 4 swings, none of them were very hard. A 2 piths in this. It's branched out again. I don't know how to split. This bitternut splits great. Here's the limb wood. Just gonna chop it once here just to show you kind of that. It's about 1.5 inch piece there. The last time I did some chopping stuff was on shagbark hickory. I don't know what it is about the hickory. Oh yeah, it's because I like to have some of the limb wood. These little pieces like that in the wood stove or in the grill, they are great. And you can put a little season on these. This stuff I'm gonna obviously have a lot, but this is half seasoned, and you put it in there. The old timers talk about burning green hickory. Now I wouldn't take this stuff as it is and put it inside my wood stove, just because of the amount of juice that when I was splitting on it yesterday, it was liquid, like bubbles coming up and everything. That's a bit extreme, but you got a little moisture in your hickory like that. The old timers talk about how that was the best wood because it would burn hot all night. Probably would burn slow and last all night is probably more like it, but there's some wisdom in those old stories from the hills and the mountains and all the people that made a living before we had that thermostat. And I don't discount those stories. So if you have a few pieces that are kind of seasoned, or these little chunky pieces like this one right here, I might throw some of those in there and see how it's going. But we're in September now, late September. It's almost October. It's kind of crazy. And what that means is if I can keep my act together, this channel will help me. Thank you. I will have all this split and stacked all winter and all next summer, all fall, all winter, all next summer. Which means that despite the water ladenness of this wood, it's gonna be crispy next fall. So it'll be primo. The beasts have awoken. Well, that's about it, I guess. I just wanted to show you this American felling axe. It's a pretty common, nice axe on the market, and I haven't swung it for a while. And I thought, well, this stuff's pretty premium splitting material. Most of it's reasonably clean. There are some dirty pieces that I'm keeping it out of, and I got some limb wood here and what's left down at my buddy's house that I'm gonna chop up with it. It's a different kind of splitting or chopping or whatever when you work on the limb wood versus when you're splitting rounds up. Also, if you are like me and you don't cut wood at your place, you cut wood at other people's places, I don't know if you can see, I'll show you in a second, but some of these rounds are massive, like 70, 80 pounds. I don't know, they've got to be, because they were really, really, really heavy and hard to lift. And so instead of lifting them up into the truck, I just took two 2-inch branches about 6-7 feet long with this axe, cut the ends off to where they were angled right, and made a 2-branch ramp up into the back of the truck. Rolled the rounds over to it and loaded them up in the truck. no trailer. And that does two things for me. One is it lets me bring this stuff home and split it over the next week or two, which really fits my schedule. And two, it lets me get in and get out quicker. If I sat there and split all these down into quarters or halves and then threw all those in the truck, that's twice the bending over for me. And split some here, split some there. I like to split it all here when I can. Come here, you son of a gun. Now, I'm not one to shy away from doing stuff the hard way. I preach on that, but sometimes the hard way takes longer. And in some scenarios, that ain't gonna work. So I got all these rounds home. And now I'll go through them the next few mornings. Not bad. All right, see you next time.